More than 160 years ago, Charles Darwin created a theory of evolution that is still recognized as a scientific paradigm today. Recently, more and more evidence has emerged that challenges Darwin's evolutionary paradigm. Not that we are waiting to hear from reputable scientists. After all, regular viewers of this channel probably have long-formed opinions on the subject. However, someone's remark about Darwin's theory turning around and many humans starting to evolve back into apes in the last 3 years got me thinking about the topic of overcoming the evolutionary paradigm. And stay tuned, because in the end you will learn who is the likely link between apes and humans. You've all probably heard of Charles Darwin by now. His theory of evolution revolutionized our understanding of the origin and evolution of life on Earth. But not only that, Darwin's work has also had far-reaching effects on science in general and society in particular. The idea that all living things are subject to a process of natural selection has contributed to our current deeper understanding of how species evolve and change. For all his achievements, Darwin was not an infallible scientist. In this paper, we will examine some of the challenges posed by Darwin's theory and ask whether it is time to move beyond the evolutionary paradigm. Darwin's theory of evolution has been a staple of the scientific literature since its publication in 1859. Although it is considered one of the most important theories of modern science, there are still critics who question Darwin's ideas. Some believe that the theory does not provide enough evidence to explain the origin of life and biological diversity. Others argue that there are alternative explanations for the origin of life, such as God's creative act. Despite these criticisms, Darwin's theory of evolution remains an important contribution to science and has fundamentally changed our understanding of life on Earth. In recent years, new findings in genetics and epigenetics have shown that many more things influence the evolution of living organisms. For example, scientists have discovered that not only the genes themselves are important, but also their regulation by epigenetic factors such as DNA methylation or histone deacetylation. These factors can contribute to switching certain genes on or off and thus influence the development of an organism. This sounds terribly complicated, but in practice it means that these new findings turn the traditional evolutionary paradigm on its head and show us that our understanding of biological evolution is far from complete. The microbiome plays a crucial role in evolution and has long been neglected in research. Darwin himself held the view that evolution occurs solely through changes in the genome. However, we now know that bacteria in the body, particularly in the gut, also have a significant influence on the development of organisms. The microbiome influences, among other things, the immune system, metabolism, and even animal behavior. Certain strains of bacteria can, for example, cause an animal to become braver or better able to accept food. The microbiome is therefore an important factor in the adaptation of organisms to their environment and plays a crucial role in evolution. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution posits that species adapt to their environment through natural selection and changes in genetic material. However, it has now been shown that environmental factors can also have a direct influence on evolution. For example, climate change can lead to the promotion of certain traits in animals or plants that allow them to better adapt to changing conditions. Man, as an environmental factor, can also influence and accelerate evolutionary processes through his interventions in nature. The recognition that evolution can be influenced not only by genetic changes but also by external influences broadens our understanding of this complex process and shows that Darwin's theory was an important landmark, but still does not explain everything. Evolution is not just about survival of the fittest, but also about cooperation and altruism within a species. These qualities are very important for the survival of a species in an ever-changing environment. Cooperation and mutual aid allow us to overcome challenges together and survive the struggles of other species. Altruism, i.e. selfless behavior, can even lead to an individual risking their own survival to help other members of the group. At first glance, this may seem contradictory, as it seems to go against one's own survival. However, in the long run, cooperative behavior and altruism contribute to the species being more successful overall, and thus to the passing on of its genes. Darwin did not explicitly consider these aspects of evolution in his theory, but they are just as important as selection by natural selection. It is fascinating to see how new knowledge helps to overcome old paradigms. Although Darwin's theory of natural selection plays an important role in evolutionary theory, there is now a wealth of research and discoveries that show us that nature is much more complex than previously thought. We have found that not only genes, but also epigenetics and environmental factors influence the development of organisms. In addition, there is evidence that evolution is not driven solely by chance and adaptation to the environment, but also by cooperation and collaboration between different species. These new findings challenge us to rethink the evolutionary paradigm and expand our understanding of how life originates and evolves. One of the new theories is that a groundbreaking genetic mutation occurred about 1 million years ago, providing the starting signal for human evolution. The human genome was restructured and certain pieces of DNA were altered, removed or amplified during the formation of egg or sperm cells. Current research shows that these changes triggered a chain of rapid DNA adaptations that led to the emergence of typical human traits and, in particular, to the evolution of our brains. And the promised denouement at the end. Evolution needs transitional links because they are its building blocks. If we are sufficiently self-critical, we can actually confirm Darwin's theory with some self-irony. It is possible that in the future it will turn out that the missing link between ape and man is probably ourselves.